Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is Ryder Sigety and my dad,
Mike.
So this was the Southwick Jday 2022 and I had a great time. It was my first time ever racing a Jday, and as you can see, I didn't get the best start, but I kind of made my way through the pack until mid-race, and then I had some great battles till the end.
Tell us a little bit about the start. Why is the start different here than some of the other races you've done?
Well, there's a couple things different. One of them is that everybody at the Jday goes to the starting line way earlier than the start. Like my race started at 9. Yeah, my race started at 9, and most of the fast kids were at the line by 8, even a little earlier. We were sitting on the side of the line so that the other people could start the race behind us, before us.
And how was your starting pick at the gate?
So I didn't really look at the start as much as I should have, and I got some advice to kind of park on the outside, and I kind of ignored it so that I could park next to my friend. And I was in like the deep sugar sand, so it was not the best start, definitely not.
And how long is each race?
So there's 2 30-minute motos, but I was only able to do one, which we'll talk about a little later. One of my favorite things about the Jday is how they set up the course. Like you see here, we're in Endurocross section, so we have 1/3 of the track is Endurocross. On average, it's not really 1/3, but 1/3 of the track is Endurocross. 1/3 of it is motocross, and then another third is woods. And it kind of just gave you like a little bit of everything, and I really like the Endurocross section.
So I think that ratio is like kind of like a generalization for most of the Jdays, but this one seemed to be like maybe 75% motocross, 10% Endurocross, and maybe 15% or 20% woods.
Yeah, something like that. So throughout the race, I kind of hovered between 5th and 7th overall in a pretty good battle. It was one of like my favorite things about these Jdays is that they're so short that everybody's just in a tight sprint battle the whole time. There's my friend Jigs Fustini. I kind of followed him into the jumps here, and he really helped me a lot.
How did that help you?
Because I wasn't planning to hit the jumps, and then I saw Jigs hit it and how much time he made up on the people in front of us, and I hit it too. Everybody also runs the same course at these Jdays. Like the adults, the kids, they all run the same 5-minute loop, and it gets pretty hammered by the second moto I hear. But sadly, I didn't get to ride the second moto this race because my dad was sick during the week, so we had someone else take me to the race. And then after my first moto, I got really sick too. I started throwing up, I was cold and hot, so I didn't get to race the next one. This race was at Southwick, Massachusetts, at the Wick, and it's at a national motocross track, and it's where they had the Loretta's qualifier the week before. It's kind of cool to be racing woods at the same place that they do like really cool motocross races. Although this was my first Jday, I heard it was a really unique one because a lot of the other ones don't have as much motocross or nearly as much sand. So it was fun for me. I couldn't really tell what was on the other side of a lot of these singles and tabletops because it was my first time here, and I just rode the track once the day before. Even after the 5-minute laps, I still kept forgetting what was on the other sides of these jumps. So I accidentally sent the single one lap too hard, but it was fine, and I kind of realized it at the end of the race. But
What did you realize at the end of the race?
I kind of realized like what was on the other side of these jumps and what I could hit and what I couldn't hit. At first, I was kind of going into a blind and just trying to do what other people were doing. So after all the battling between 5th, 6th, and 7th overall, I finished 6th overall. I was hoping for top 5, but 6th for my first Jday is still really good, and I had a great time. In front of me is 2 of the kids that I was battling with. well, actually just one of them, Kyle. I met him the day before and he was really nice. We talked for a while. He finished 5th overall, right in front of me, 2 seconds in front of me. So this is the first non-AMA race that I've done in a really long time. And the AMA has a rule where you can't keep your helmet camera mounted onto your helmet. So I always have it on my chest, and I forgot that you didn't have to have it on your chest for this race, or that you could put it on your helmet. So I kept it on my chest, and as you can see, there's a lot of gas cap and gas tank area. So sorry about that, because I could have had a better view. Right in front of me in the orange, I forget his name, but we had a really good battle. He was faster than me in the motocross track, and I was faster than him in the woods, so we went back and forth a lot. In the end though, I did wind up getting around him in the motocross track when he fell, and I kept it there for the rest of the race. Right here on the right of the track, you see cheering for me is Frank Messina. He's the one that brought me to race, and he was really nice. When I got sick, he didn't race at all. He just took me home because he thought it was the best thing to do, and that was really nice of him. Another family that really helped this weekend was the McQuarries, because they gave me a place to stay, and even when I was throwing up all over, they still let me stay in their motorhome, which was really nice. Another cool thing about these Jdays is that a lot of my GNCC friends were there, so it was cool. I kind of already knew a lot of the people here, even though it was my first one. Right up here, you see the person in front of me, Kyle, goes to the left of these tires, and it looks like it's faster, but then the log was bigger, so it was actually slower. It was weird. And over here, he passed me in the turn, and it was one of those spots where I didn't really know what was on the other side of the jump. So as I go around this turn, there's a single, and I thought it was a tabletop, so I didn't slow down at all.
Would you do another Jday?
Yeah, I would definitely do another Jday. They were really fun, and I would recommend them. We didn't really have a computer to work on the video this week, so I'm actually editing today at the National Enduro in the camper the night before. It was kind of weird, as you were pulling into the national motocross track, on the left and right were soccer fields and baseball fields, and right on the other side of maybe 30 feet of trees was a really cool motocross track. It was a little weird going through scoring at this race because the transponder was so delayed. You can never really tell what place you were in unless you looked at the place of the person in front of you, and if there was a lapper in between you guys, you wouldn't know at all. This race, there was a lot of wide open sections, especially on the moto track, and I felt like I should have changed the pipe. I usually ride the stock pipe for more low-end power, but I kind of needed the high-end power. As you see here, this kid kind of gaps me on all the straightaways. As I kind of talked about before, I feel like when you're in motocross, I feel like I needed a way better memory. I could not remember what was on the downside of any of these jumps. It was really confusing. Also, riding the bicycle on the moto track was hard because you can see how sandy it was, and all the singles were almost like hills on the bicycle, and I just couldn't get up them. It was hard. I had to push. So I like this race a lot, and I'm hoping to do more of the Jdays, but there's a lot of them, and a lot of them conflict with GNCC and National Enduro. So we're gonna probably do as many as we can, but need some off weekends too. Another thing that kind of cool, that Ben Kelly showed up, even though there's a lot of conflicting races with the GNCC, he was here, and he actually won the overall for the whole day. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment below on how you thought the video was and if you have any suggestions. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.